So we'll call the meeting to order. It's an order. We're in order, folks. Uh, for those of, I don't know if everybody has the agenda, but does anybody have any adjustments to the agenda? Would you like me to read through the agenda? It's pretty straightforward, but listen, if we get to a spot where we want to add something, we'll just do it because we're doing what we want today. We're doing our best and we're going to do what we need to do. Sounds good. We can open it up for public comment. That would likely at this point, and we do have a section where we're going to talk about like Montpelier updates and Barre updates, but if Zach, if you have any comments that you'd like to make, you don't need to.
I will reserve it for the section we talk about. It's been
Okay.
a pleasure to be here.
Fair. Thanks.
Thank you.
So seeing there's no other public here. Well, I shouldn't say that. You are here. Do you have any comments you'd like to make before we get to other things? Okay, Brooke. So we minutes from the previous meeting for those of us who are on the committee. I don't know if you've had a chance to look. I didn't have any adjustments. So OSA is shaking their head no adjustments, I think. Beth, you made them, so you're like, I did them.
Yeah.
So formally, informally, could we vote to approve? Motion to approve, vote to approve? Yes and yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Vote to approve.
Okay, thanks. Again, we're being a little less formal this time, but we're getting stuff done, folks.
Yeah.
All right, on to the meat of our meeting, our agenda items. Do we have an update on the locker situation?
That was Dan.
Oh, that was Dan. Okay, all right, so we will wait till next time.
I guess we could get feedback from Zach and get around to talking about our feelings.
Yeah, see what's going on there.
Yeah.
How about our Zine making conversation? Did I say that wrong? Oh, so I said Zine. Some people say zine.
I hear it both ways generally. So a beautiful setup was made. There are some corrections that I want to make with it, but I haven't had that chance yet. First, it was that things were too busy, and now it's that I'm sick.
Yeah.
But this was the first draft, and I just need to make the corrections or mention the corrections, and then I think we can go further with it.
That's really cool. What size is it? Is it like business card sized or a little bigger than that, but smaller than a postcard? Like, yeah.
It's like that big, so like.
Never mind. I have a copy right here to look at.
Haha.
Yeah, it almost looks like the size of the survival guide.
Yeah.
Slightly bigger.
Yep, a little bit bigger.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
So if this looks like
Love
it would be
it.
a good vehicle to get information
I love it.
out on, we could adapt it
Thank
to
you.
all kinds of things and produce them pretty quickly. If you see that folks that you give them to can actually use them.
It's unlocked, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, so that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that.
Looking forward to working on it more with.
Can I ask a different question, which is tangentially relevant to that? We have some folks that were exiting this week who will likely be out, like maybe out and about. So I've typically just let you know that, but is there somewhere else I should go with that since you're out?
No, you can still let me know, and I'll pass it along to others as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Again,
Oh, that's
tangential, but we got it. All right. Anything else on that?
No.
By default, I'm going through the agenda test. Tess just showed up if you haven't seen her at the other end of the table yet. We're on to the Barre update and Montpelier update, like sort of comparing notes and having that open conversation between the two of us. Zach, do you want to start us off?
Well, yeah, sure. And I was hoping that at least one of my other colleagues would be here tonight. Yeah, he must have gotten tied up, but that would have been Jim Sheridan, who's taken a heavy role from the city council side um, over Montpelier, and really helped us push into committee mode so that we're not a task force anymore. 'Cause we were a task force, and we just seem to be getting more done now because we have a cooperative staff, and we have one staff member is very. What we're struggling with right now is probably quorum for the meetings because we're in the process of switching our time so that people can actually attend based on feedback. We're trying to do that. And the other thing we're trying to do is talk to the city council about camping this summer so that there's not a repeat over at the Christ Church in Montpelier, because we had that. If y'all remember, some of y'all might recall, we had that nice little encampment in the parking lot over there over late summer into December, and they do not want to do that again. They made it very clear. So we're trying to get into that mode realistically. Some issues there trying to figure out is liability around if they did this on city property, Montpelier city property. How would that be liability wise? And then staffing for that sort of thing. So that's kind of what we're trying to roll with. We're watching the bills in the legislature, H91, I think, and there's a couple others that we're really interested in, particularly around there was one that seemed to compel treatment of some sort if to get help, but I don't have the bill in front of me right now, but this is stuff we're doing. We just had a meeting today, and I almost forgot about this meeting. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I told my folks over there, I said, I'm glad I caught it because I almost didn't make it over. But that's basically what we've been doing. We meet at least a couple times a month, and so that's kind of what we're up to. I think we were interested in if y'all were looking into camping as well. I don't know if y'all were, but yeah. So that's all I've got for right now, I think.
What's your committee called, Zach?
Oh, sorry, Montpelier Montpelier Homelessness Committee.
Okay, thank you. I knew that I had heard that there was a push to combine housing and homelessness.
They tried it, but
Okay.
some of us pushed back, and they almost kicked us completely. But thanks to some push from like Jim Sheridan and myself, we kept it a committee, and I think a committee kind of helps it get things more done. The task force is kind of a shorter thing. It was supposed to be only for a few months.
Mhm.
It turned into like 6 years,
Yeah.
5-6 years. It just feels like we're doing more in there now.
Great.
Hi, Nolan. One of our members has arrived.
Oh, great.
Good.
Hello,
Hello.
Hi.
I'm a member of the Homelessness Committee in Montpelier.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So who wants to give an update as to what we're doing here? Anybody? Anybody? Beth, maybe? Tess? Well, you're an integral part of what we do, even though you're
I know, but
technically not on the
I don't think
committee.
I went to the last meeting. so
Yeah.
I've been a little out of it, but thank you.
So
Thank you.
you've seen at least the agenda, right? Or we've been walking through the agenda. We kind of go through these things and try to come up with ways in which we're going to improve things here in Barre City as best we can through committee work anyway, and through all of our other work. And hoping in this conversation with you all that we can just continue to improve upon the cross-pollination between the two communities. It's there, it happens. A lot of our organizations that we're involved with crossover into both communities. But it's, our Twin Cities approach, we're hoping to kind of lock that down a little more and maybe on a semi-regular basis, have some joint, at least here, we've been talking about having some joint meetings like this where we're talking about similar goals and how we might go about them.
Absolutely.
How have the extreme cold weather shelters worked out for you in Montpelier?
Well, working on getting to a mic here. Hang on. Let's see what's going on. There we are. Sorry, I didn't realize I was still active. I think they're working out well. The only one that kind of gives us anxiety sometimes is the volunteer one, because we don't know if that's going to open or not, and we might, share some minor frustration because they have temperature caps they use. So, like, we've had a couple of situations where we say, well, actually, it's under it's well below the caps or higher than the caps. So, what's up? And, that kind of thing. But we recognize it's a volunteer effort. So, it means they have to get volunteers. One of the things that was brought up in our meeting today is they are seeing in the volunteer shelter, they're seeing in Montpelier, they're seeing more inebriated folks and fights going on, and they're having to expel, which concern to us. That is one thing I don't know what can be done with, because I get scared when it's really cold out and we have to put someone outside like that. I understand. I get it. You got someone fighting, and they're inebriated. They fall out of a chair. I think that was the way it was described to me. So, how it's working out? Well, I think it's working out. The data I got was that the volunteer shelter was open 40 nights so far inside the season, and a lot of cold time right now. But it's warming up. So,
This week anyway.
for now, knock on wood, we're not quite done yet. So I think my major concern would be the inebriated population having to go outside. What do we do with them? I worry about that. I think we all do, but I'm just putting it out there. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks. Tess, do you want to give an update as to how it's going since we're on the emergency shelter piece, like how it's going here?
Sure, we've been pretty much at capacity every night that we've been open. We've only been open about 24 nights. I think our threshold's a little bit higher or lower. It's higher on the lower scale. And and it's true that arranging for volunteers is a challenge always. People are willing, but not always able. I have had a lot of discussion with people, Capstone, people about the inebriation, which is, it's bad in Montpelier. It is not here. That's not our issue. And, but I am worried about Montpelier's, as much as people are inebriated now, I think it's only gonna get worse in the warm months. And, for us, we've had some pretty alarming substance abuse issues at our shelter, and we're trying to, now that we have this break in the weather, to try to use this time to do a debrief and figure out ways that we can address the issue. I mean, we have had emergency services there, we've had the police there, but their hands are tied with their their limitations. And so and understandably, I mean, I don't know if I understand why those limitations are there, but I understand that they have to follow them. I think those are things that maybe could be addressed in a bigger way, hopefully. But,
I apologize. You said limitations. Whose limitation? What are those? I'm
the
sorry.
law, what the laws are.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just what the laws are, you know, if a person is able to answer questions to give the emergency services people a feeling that they can make a decision, that they're capable of making a decision about their own destiny, whether they want to go to the emergency room or not. They you know, they can sign off on it, and there's nothing the emergency services people can do, or so they say. And then the same thing with the police. It's like, well, we're not seeing an actual law being broken, or you know, this is so it's just really hard. So then at the shelter, we're left with I don't want to put somebody out who has just been administering drugs to themselves out into the cold. So so it's really hard. It's really hard, and you know, so those are things that I know that Earl Cooper Camp and James Summeroth Darnell, who's the priest at the church that we're using, the Congregational Church, you know, we have to sit down and talk about that, and probably bring a couple more people who are much better experts than we are into the conversation, and like I said, use this time to see if we're going to shore up some rules, and because we are a low barrier shelter, we're not, you know, our aim is to keep people from freezing to death, and it's, you know, and with that comes some awful things. So, but I do feel for Montpelier, because for some reason this public inebriation thing is growing. It's not getting under control, and it really makes for a dangerous situation for volunteers.
And I'll just pipe in and say, we have a hotel. We don't have a super low barrier emergency shelter. However, we do operate it in a different way than maybe a typical hotel. And it's one of the hardest things we have to do, but we have to do it to keep everybody safe, and to not increase our liability on a daily basis. The two things that come up the most are public intoxication that is unsafe enough that we absolutely cannot tolerate it anymore after a certain time or after certain events on site. And then the second piece that plays in is just sort of more behavioral, which is what it is. You know, can't do anything about that after a certain point. And sending somebody out when it's really cold is heart-wrenching. And also we have to think about staff and the safety of the rest of the community there as well. Which is where I'm like calling OSA and saying, sorry, hey,
Yeah.
we've got two more
And,
people headed out into the
and you know,
cold, or, you know.
and you know what happens to that? I get a message from OSA thereafter just saying what happened, and then I'm saying, what the? I'm sorry. That's what
Smoking in
we.
their rooms, like we can't
I
have
get it. No, I get it. No, I do get it. I
Yeah.
would like to just recognize that Jim Sheridan has arrived, although he's away from his seat there, but he has arrived.
But he's there.
Yeah.
He's there somewhere.
Okay.
But I just wanted to give you a picture of what it looks like when you send that message to OSA, and then OSA sends that message to us.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Well, we have.
Couldn't they, I joke about it. I'm just joking with you, but I said, couldn't they have waited? You know, but
I wish we could at times, and we do our best to work with folks until we can't. And there's just some threshold issues that we can't. We
Yeah.
can't,
Yep.
and sometimes we can't from the outset the first time it happens.
Yeah.
And other times we're trying to work with them and it keeps happening and we can't.
Right, and we're trying to figure out how to do rules that, you know, are fair to everybody, but also administer them, that they're fair to everybody,
Yeah.
and we can't let our guests decide what's fair and what's not fair.
Yeah.
At times, you know, when we have to administer rules, you know, and so it becomes really hard, but I mean, rules around the bathroom. Please, you've been in there 20 minutes and I know you probably really need it, but so do others. Can
Yeah.
you kind of come out and come back or whatever? And that will throw somebody into a rage.
Yep.
Of, why are you telling me I have to get out of the bathroom? You let somebody else stay in, and that's the whole thing happens. And then people will leave. And there's nothing we can do about it. So it's just really, it's,
Heart-wrenching
this
it.
is how this is how it plays out.
Yeah.
And it's hard.
I want to make sure we give Osa a chance to pipe in. How's it going out there? What do you want us to know about sheltering or folks who are unsheltered currently in our area?
I have a few folks that are staying out in some of this colder weather. I created a similar to how the Zine or Zine, however we wish to say that, shows, but I created a safer way for folks to stay in their tent site. You can see my 3D model here. This is your tarp layer, and then we use foam board on all three sides of this triangular, I don't know, 3D triangle type size tent, and then a blanket layer. I don't know, hands are not working today. A blanket layer, a mylar tarp layer, and then the tent itself with the same blanket and mylar tarp underneath the tent. And then there's other layers that are on the inside of the tent as well. That's helped reduce or I guess add to actually would be the correct way to say it, but on some of the colder nights that have been like -20, -30 with wind, we've gotten it down to a single person and their service dog staying in the tent without any external heat source besides just what their bodies create. It being like 0 degrees inside of their tent instead of it being like the -40s outside. And that's a significant difference
Yeah.
to keeping someone a bit safer. So that's been a new design that we have on two different tent sites outside right now. And something I plan to keep doing when folks need it. I haven't since I've been very minimally at work for the last week, just through texting and stuff, which is very difficult. Because there's still like a lot of need right now as folks reaching out about food, and food access and gas cards, and getting from like one town to another, um, is always a harder thing for folks when gas is a factor. But it's just reaching out to different other services and agencies and networking with them and seeing if I can get this person help in different ways. Um, yeah, the numbers are still very much there. There's a lot of folks outside. It's been understandable, but also frustrating that there aren't like more overflow shelters open every single night, and I understand that we can't do that, and or that it's very difficult to do that. I understand all that. I just we have several folks that have had to like go other places in the state because there's no shelter available like late at night in this area. And I mean like all the way from like St. Albans, Colchester, almost New Hampshire area, Rutland, all like 4 or 5 different people all on the same night being transferred to different locations because of no shelter access central. But or over not no extra space at the overflow as well. But yeah, it is what it is. That's my quick update.
Can I ask,
Go ahead.
so where did they go? I mean, what, you know, they went to other communities, but did they go to shelters or did they actually find?
They went to emergency overflows
Gotcha,
or
Okay.
in those different towns across the state.
thank you.
Yeah.
Is there some way we can quantify this so that people who make these decisions about emergency overflow shelters and extreme cold weather provisions know? Good.
Well,
I,
the thing
I
is,
don't know.
no,
personally.
but the problem is, capacity.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't mean at your level, I mean like in the
Oh,
legislature who are
yeah.
making the decisions.
Yeah, be nice. It would be nice.
All right. I have to step out.
Mm.
So if I do that, then my video's out. They can't see us. Can you
But
still see
we
us?
can hear you.
No, never mind.
I think we can
Yeah.
see you. There you are.
Talk amongst yourselves. There's
Don't
the
scare
agenda.
us like
I
that.
have to step out for a minute. Sorry.
Sure. Understandable.
Zach, how are you following the bills that are working their way through the legislature? Do you have somebody
There's-
on site who reports back to you?
There's a legislative website I use. I
Okay,
don't
all
have
right, so
anyone
you're just
reporting.
following it, okay.
I just punch up the bill and it says where it is. And, but I wish I had, well, yeah, I wish I had that capacity. But I don't right now. And all I can do is, and like, I mean, I am concerned about a couple of these, particularly the one that's called the Return Home Bill, whatever that's called. And that one has people going, one of the provisions would be to have them return back to where they came from or go to a place, I believe. And the thing is, I've already, my concern is they're just going to come back because they have usually people are connected here. They might go away to their home for, maybe out wherever, Minnesota, and then they're back. So, I mean, I'd be concerned about that and stuff like that. I wanted to also say that because the hotels are full right now for the most part, people who do have vouchers might be in a holding pattern. They have to call every day. I had to work with somebody. They just got a room today after like 3 weeks of attempting. So that's another thing to keep in mind when people are outside or couch surfing or needing a place to go. Sorry.
I guess that pretty much updates the extreme cold weather shelters, right?
Unless James or Nolan wanted to add anything.
Hey, Jim.
How you doing? No, I'm part of the homeless task force in Montpelier. I'm also a Montpelier city councilor, and we're going to be talking on our agenda. We're just trying to figure out a place where we can allow campments.
Yeah,
That's a biggie. And we're also trying to boost our membership on the homeless committee because it's tough to get people that want to get involved.
Yeah, and our first step is to change the time. We're working on that.
Yeah. We are on the agenda, Zach, for next Wednesday.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Okay. We're getting rolling then. That's good.
Yeah.
So I think the next thing on our agenda is the Capstone Shelter cold weather shelters. However, Kathy just had to step out.
yeah, I think
So,
we kind of touched briefly on
Yeah. And then we have, partnering with the Restore,
And that was a Dan.
and that is Dan, who is also not here. So that was all of our agenda. Unless anyone wants to add anything. And even without Kathy, we can't even adjourn because I don't count as a vote.
Right.
Osa does.
Is she
Yeah.
coming back or is she?
She had to take a phone call, so,
Oh,
I guess
That's-
you're in holding.
that's great.
so I guess we can adjourn instead of just sitting here in silence.
I don't think we can because we don't have a quorum anymore.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's just me and Osa.
Yeah, that's what, but at the same time.
I mean, I'd love to say yes, but I really like no would be the correct answer. Wait, maybe she's coming back.
Are you back?
Oh, sorry. You know the difference between a quorum and not a quorum?
Yes. And to adjourn.
You're adjourning?
Well, we finished the agenda.
That's
Okay, let's
fantastic. I think that's great.
Okay.
I'm fine. Just wondering.
Unless you had something on capstone shelter. I don't know.
I don't have anything on Capstone. Does anybody else have anything on Capstone? I have, all I have is Speranza and Down Street. That's my shtick now. So,
Okay.
What
Well,
are you thinking for capstone? That's the volunteer overflow. We did
that's
talk
the,
about it.
when we talked about it, because that's the non-volunteer.
that's a non-volunteer. Sorry.
And that's been, and all I've heard is that that's going well-ish,
You know, no. There,
Kind of.
the public inebriation piece is probably
big.
good. It's big and it's really affecting everything there.
I'm wondering if for that reason, for these particular like low barrier access shelters, if you could work with someone like Turning Point to see if someone could be around for the first part, like the entry level of folks come. I don't know, maybe that wouldn't work, but it's not as I think for some folks having like say Washington County mental health there is like a big no, like it's such a trigger. And I don't mean to overuse that word, but it's just such a like hard no for so many people that maybe somebody who's more like in the peer support
Right.
type of venue might work.
Yeah.
And maybe they could make somebody available here and there, or someone that could
Yeah,
on a nightly basis when they're open,
yeah.
like just make a stop and go around and make a stop at each of them to see how things are going and
Well,
offer supports.
I'm thinking, I mean, what I'm gleaning from this information, and maybe you folks from Montpelier know better than I do, but what I'm gleaning is that it's a group activity.
Yeah.
It's not individuals that are drunk, it is a group of individuals that are drunk.
Yep.
And disorderly. Yeah, so that makes it harder because who wants to approach a group that is not, in their,
Yeah.
like sober state,
Yes.
and it's scary. It's intimidating and it's scary and
It's such a hard balance to keep because, none of us do this work, whether it's volunteer or not, because we have these big hearts in general, right? We want to serve everybody and make sure everybody's safe. And I'm constantly faced on a daily basis with, we need to do that. And we also need to balance that with keeping ourselves, our staff, our volunteers, and our community safe as well. And sometimes it does mean that folks have to deal with the consequences of whatever their actions are. And we have to try not to hold ourselves responsible for that, for having a solid boundary that's about safety and security.
yeah.
Easier
There's
said
not-
than done, but yeah.
There's not enough staff, there's not enough money, there's not enough places. And the political will is not there in the state. We had the state come into our council meeting, the 5 people, the 2 people in the House and the 3 senators, and they just kept saying, Can't help you there, no money. Can't help you there, no money. This is going to be one of the worst years ever. We know how the federal bid is. I mean, it comes down on communities and you do the best you can. I mean, we struggled last year in Montpelier, and I just met with our brand new city manager and gave her I told her, I know about what's going on in Montpelier with that situation, and we can't even make decisions on where we would allow them to camp. So
Yeah, it's almost too bad that cities couldn't come up with some sort of a liability waiver, which is like, so if
Yeah.
we allow you to camp here, like you're releasing us from any liability that may come from anything,
Yeah.
whatever happens here, because I think that could do away with a little bit of the issue.
Yes, that's exactly right. We're actually going to be talking about in the next council meeting, having a lawyer come in and put those liabilities out to us, what they exactly are, how can we get around them, how can we deal with them. So it's going to be, we're going to have to get one in and pay them to hear what the truth is, because you got to know you can't put your city or your organization on the line.
Right.
So, if you have another meeting like this, I'll try to show up. I came in late because I was just coming back from meeting the new city manager and trying to tell her, she wanted to know about as much from Montpelier as she's meeting all counselors one-on-one. Plus, you want to get across what you're like as a city councilor.
So we meet once a month, and it's generally in this, like in this setting on this time frame. We meet once a month, and I will say, as just a member of the committee, although I did do a lot of the agenda tonight, that's not typically my role. But just as a member of the committee, I would love to have more of this conversation across both communities. And I'm personally interested in what that lawyer tells you about the liability that may help to inform us as to what we might,
Yes. So
I think,
you don't have to
yeah,
spend money going down the same route.
yeah, that would be interesting.
So if you're going to set it up on Wednesday nights, the only thing I'm going to tell you is if it's on a council night, it's going to be really hard to
Sure.
be part of this. We meet
Sure.
at 6:30, and council days are tough, but this wasn't a council day, a Wednesday. We generally meet the second and fourth Wednesday of the month.
Oh,
We are meeting on the third.
We meet on the third Wednesday.
Okay, so it sounds like the first Wednesday is probably the one.
Well, no, this is when we have this meeting. So if we wanted to, if you wanted to come to this meeting in this way,
Oh,
you
I
could also
see.
be here in person, so we wouldn't exclude that. But, you could attend this way if you wanted to.
Well, it'd probably be Zoom because I can't drive in the dark anymore with a bad eye. So but Zach can get me the link. That's who I got the link from. And so I'm going to count on Zach to have the connections of how I can connect with you. And yeah, I'll definitely share. I would love to share it's probably not going to be, we're going to talk about it in the council. We're probably not going to have the lawyer there till maybe the next meeting.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say we want to get going on these things sooner rather than later because we're going to be in March. And
We're almost there.
Once we get in April, people are going to start flooding in.
Yeah, we've got 6 weeks left of cold weather exception with the hotel program.
Yeah, so I mean,
thank you for that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we can't, we can't delay things much longer. You're going to be up, people are going to be here. There're going to be lots of people in the streets, and it's going to be harder to deal with things. So now's the time because March to me is the last month you have really to pull things together because April's weather will bring more people.
Mhm.
So I will definitely try to get that to you so that you don't have to hire somebody on your own to, because it's costly to have a lawyer come in, obviously.
It is.
Yeah,
And-
if we know which council meeting, what date it is, we can watch the tape, which would be great.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm hoping that it's going to be maybe our first council meeting in March, but sometimes that is an orientational meeting because we got a new city manager. We're going to have a new mayor. The 6 councilors are all coming back. So maybe we'll be able to have it in that meeting. And if you have a meeting in the middle of March, I can give you that info.
Great.
And if not, I can get it to Zach and he can get
Perfect.
it to you.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not running things anymore. I left. Where are we at? We adjourned? Did we actually adjourn?
No,
No,
because we
we-
needed you.
Oh, we needed a quorum.
Yeah.
My apologies for being absent for that. Should we vote to adjourn now? Yes, the 3 of us that are here that are voters? All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good conversation. Thanks, Nolan, Zach, Jim.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
Osa, feel better.
Thank you. See y'all later.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.